If you're the kind of person who likes monsters in movies, then you're going to love our next segment, because we're going to take you behind the scenes to show you how some of these creatures are brought to life. Film history is filled with terrific creatures who have terrorized and thrilled movie audiences worldwide. One of the folks responsible for these fantastical film fiends is Kenneth J. Hall. As founder of Total Fabrication in Van Nuys, Ken has the enjoyable job of making his clients' dream creatures a reality.
One of the things that makes our company unique is the fact that we do both realistic character and creature work for film and television, and we do mascots for corporate clients, promotional costumes, trade show events, that sort of thing.
He's been responsible for the creation of notable creatures for television and film. And they don't just fabricate monsters. Basically, if you can dream it up, they can make it.
Most of our work has been now more live applications, mascots, promotional things, where obviously you've got to have somebody in an actual costume standing there. Even a lot of the commercial work, we're putting somebody in a goofy food costume. We want some guy standing there dressed as a pork chop.
One of the secrets to their success is the unique and versatile materials they use to create their monsters.
One of the things we specialize in here is a foam fabrication technique. We actually take sheet foam products that are used for insulation or padding and that sort of things at various densities and porosities, and cut them into shapes using patterns and so forth, and glue them together into three-dimensional forms.
This special foam can be manipulated to look like anything they want, from monster flesh to metal.
Do a lot of really convincing metallic finishes. It's tremendously versatile, and it also is very, very user-friendly, especially with armor in situations where actors have to do stunts. It's much safer for them to do them wearing a foam piece than wearing something hard.
They've employed this method to create everything, from small furry costumes to the fully detailed life-sized creatures like the Carnosaur. The great thing about Ken's job is the ability to create creatures for his own films. For his recent horror flick, The Halfway House, Ken and his team dreamed up a terrific one-eyed monster that ingests its prey in a single gulp.
Of course, I'm very proud of the creature we made recently for The Halfway House, because obviously, being a movie I wrote and directed myself, it was a lot of fun.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
Being that his Lovecraftian creature was the star of the film, Ken put great attention to detail in getting the exact look that he wanted.
Basically, I knew I wanted him to be big and to have one eye, and the first concept looked a lot like the creature from The Crawling Eye.
The Crawling Eye, waiting, watching. What could stop its insatiable onslaught?
And I just had an idea one day and scribbled something on a piece of paper, the idea of starting out with taking a human skull and, well, what if it only had one eye socket, and then extending these bony protrusions and giving it kind of a dinosaur-like fin.
Another challenge of his job is finding practical ways to make his creatures work effectively once the cameras roll.
At one point, we were just going to have it kind of sitting on the ground and thinking that its victims would be just sliding into its mouth and the top of its head would lift up like a Pez dispenser. So we figured out a way to actually mount the whole rig on a marching band drum harness, and there was a guy wearing it. And thankfully, because our foam technique is pretty light, it was pushing the limit because he could only wear it for limited periods of time, but that entire head was supported by one person wearing it, and then the tentacles were obviously being manipulated by a bunch of people.
You'd think that with all these resources at his hands, Ken would be king at costume parties.
I have worn these things, and as I said, they're not comfortable, they're not fun, and so generally when I'm going to a costume party, I find the simplest, most comfortable thing to wear.
So next time you get scared by a frightening film monster, remember that it's merely a fabrication from the mind of talented artists like Ken Hall.